when you wake up in the morning and you wake up for a calling and you wake up for a purpose, there's nothing like that. It's been a long time since I've had this feeling inside of myself where I wake up and I'm like, man, today's my day. That I know this is my moment and this is my opportunity and this is my 24 hours, and what am I going to do to fully capitalize and spend it how I choose to spend it. It's been a long time since I've been able to live that life. And it's beautiful to kind of have that feeling to be restored inside of me. Today I wanted to discuss a few things. I wanted to discuss change. I want to discuss addiction and overcoming addiction. And kind of shed some light on where to go and what to do. If you guys have any kind of questions, please feel free to reach out and send me a message. But the first thing I want to do is discuss change and the ability to change and the courage that it takes to change and the strength it takes to change. And that kind of leads my way into addiction. They kind of go hand in hand, because one of the things that I needed to change, most importantly about myself and who I was not happy with as myself, was my addiction. A lot of you know that I was a musician for a very long time, my entire life, a professional musician. But a lot of you don't know that behind the scenes I was struggling with a major addiction to substance abuse, alcohol, and pretty much everything that you could possibly get your hands on to try to make me feel good and help me discover happiness. I would use it. Really let myself down, let my daughter down, let my fans down, friends down, family down, kind of let everybody down around me. And that pressure continues to weigh on you. And then you start to feel alone. You start to feel isolated in the world, like you're all by yourself. And what we do as an addict, what we kind of call it is called bouncing on the bottom. Is you're just kind of, you have your little moments of high hope and then you fall back down. You're just kind of bouncing along the bottom. And I kind of grew tired of that life. And I grew tired of that pain. I grew tired of that self-inflicted misery that I was constantly putting on myself. The pain, the pressure, the lies. I mean, just living under this world full of lies. It's overwhelming beyond, being deceitful, being a scam artist, just doing, scummy things, man. Just being a dirty, dirty person, someone that I would not be proud to be around, and someone I would not be proud if my daughter ever brought home someone like myself. So as painful as it is to say, when you kind of have that realization and you see that, like, I couldn't even look myself in the mirror. And so when I was able to finally look myself in the mirror and be like, bro, you need to make a change. Fortunately, I had a little tiny bit of strength left inside of me to go ahead and follow that and what that journey of change is going to look like. My change happened very rapidly. One night I was out partying at a Interscope Christmas party. We're out partying, celebrating in Los Angeles, drinking heavy, doing what we do. And then the next day, I was like, in an AA meeting with my hoodie on, hat on, trying to hide who I was. So it happened very quickly, but it was like a whole process of just self-inflicted pain that got up to that point, like kind of drowning in my own sorrows and overwhelmed because the drugs and alcohol were no longer working to fill that void. That it kind of got to a point where I was like, what am I going to do? Man, like I'm on the verge of just losing everything. So, reached out to my good friend and we went to my first meeting. And at that meeting, there was an old man talking, and he kind of just told my story. And the beauty about going to meetings and speaking with people, kind of like a group counseling session. I went to AA, so anyone out there struggling with kind of an addiction, alcohol, go to AA. Hearing another person tell my story, there was a 87-year-old elderly white man in the Navy. Like, we would probably never connect and we have completely different lives, but his story was my story. So he was telling my story. Like, hearing his pain was my pain. And it just made me completely feel at home. I have never had a drink since that day. And it's been 5.5 years. I've done no drugs since that day. It's been 5.5 years. And the reason why I highlight my 5.5 years is when I remember sitting in that room, in the back of that room with my hoodie on and my hat down, and I would hear people saying they had like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, and I'd be thinking to myself, wow, that's impossible. Like, who could do that? This dude. I remember sitting there and getting my, every day trying to get a new chip, thinking, how am I gonna make it through the day? All right, let's one day at a time. Now we got a week, and then it came to a month. Then it came to, 2 months, 3 months. The months kind of started to go by, and then we got to a year. I was like, that's pretty cool. And now it kind of just flies by. I mean, the urges still pop up. So the thing about an addiction is, like, I might be past the physical part of it, but the mental part will always be with me for the rest of my life. Like, mentally, my brain, if I go out somewhere, like we go to Las Vegas or something like that, my brain is still telling me, like, oh, bro, you're good now. You've been 5.5 years. You can have that drink. You can celebrate. We're at my buddy's bachelor party or something like that. Like, we could knock back a couple, have a good time, celebrate life. But the fact of how hard I would have to work in order to focus on drinking like, quote unquote, a normal person, if anyone ever can even drink normal, to even have to like work like that, or even have to tell my brain to kind of think like that, that tells me there's still a problem, right? And there's no reason for me to have to drink. I shouldn't feel obligated by the people I'm with. If I'm in a circle of people that are pressuring me to drink or encouraging me to drink and to put a substance in my body that has no purpose being in my body because it's doing nothing healthy for my body, then those people don't need to be in my circle. I strongly am grateful for everyone in my circle, because my circle knew how bad I was, and my circle seen me make the change and have supported me 110%. Shout out to my buddies. My best friend Tony always encouraged me. My boy A-Train, Classic, Jay. None of these dudes ever pressured me my entire time to pick up a drink or a substance. Never once. Always supported my mission of growth and change and developing myself. Some of them, my boy Classic is right behind me on my coattail, so with the same almost amount of sobriety. So as a group, we kind of, moved into a different direction. And if you have people in your life and you're unable to make this change because you feel the people around you aren't going to support you and help you make that change, then you need to ex-nay those people out in your circle. Because if your people are not encouraging you to be the best you that you could possibly be, then those people do not deserve to be around you. They do not deserve to be around you. Some people did fall out of the circle. And that's perfectly okay, because in order for you to grow, sometimes you got to shrink people down around you, because you need to keep a tight-knit family of people that's going to support you. So anything, if you're overcoming an eating disorder, if you're overcoming a bad relationship, drug addiction, whatever it might be, if you are looking to make a change, surround yourself with people that are A, making that same change, or B, going to encourage that change. Don't be around the people that are drowning in their own self-sorrow and their own misery that are going to constantly want to pull you back to be right there where they are. A lot of times people don't want to see you do better than they do, especially friends, or people that we think are our friends. As sad as that is to say, a lot of times, they want to keep you at an equal level, because all of a sudden, they might feel like you won't need them anymore if you suddenly do so much better than them. That you might forget them. So people are always going to kind of want to keep you here unless you have the right people around you and support your growth. And those are the people I strongly encourage you to find and keep around you, are going to be the people that encourage that development and want to see your overall well-being. They want to see me be the best father I could be, the best husband I could be, the best friend that I could possibly be, the best man I could possibly be, and the best person to myself that I could possibly be. And that's who is in my circle today. And I'm grateful for every single one of them dudes in my circle today for always supporting me and always encouraging me and pushing my development and never pushing me to go backwards in my development. Thank you guys for that. With that being said, anyone out there kind of struggling with the addiction, your first step is going to be to admit that you have a problem and seek help. I knew I had a problem. I knew it was kind of eating me alive for a long time. I had reached my bottom way before I ever asked for help. I said I was doing that bouncing on the bottom thing that we seem to do, because that little tiny peek up will trick our brains into thinking everything's fine. And then we have that ego come into play thinking, oh, I could overcome this by myself. I don't need nobody's help. I'm good. I'm strong. I'm man. Hero. But we need help. I was completely shattered inside, broken inside. So I reached out to my good friend, and who had been, been someone that had lived a life that I wish I was living. And we were able to, with his help, we're able to make some changes. And here I am today, 5.5 years. I couldn't be happier. I live a life that I once dreamed about, And I don't say that from a financial standpoint by any means. I'm not a financially rich person, but I like to tell people that I have everything that money can't buy. I'm married to the love of my life. I'm a superhero to a now 7-year-old who turned 7 yesterday. I'm a superhero to a 7-year-old, and I enjoy every single moment of my life. I do not get lost in a world of competition. I do not get lost anymore in a world of jealousy. I do not get lost in a world of greed. I do not get lost in a world of material items, even though sometimes I could still resort to it. But I don't base my happiness around that anymore. I base my happiness strictly and solely around the man that my wife says I am to her, the husband I am to her, the father that I am to my daughter, the friend that I am to my friends, the man and the person that I am to myself, and the willingness and compassion I have to be able to help out strangers or people I don't know. That is what I now base my happiness on and my life on. And with that, that is kind of how I measure my success and my wealth. I don't look at my wealth how I used to look at my wealth and have that kind of greed and that fictitious world that I need to have more than the next person. You know, when we get lost in that world of competition and we're looking at that person's and then we instantly compare them to ourselves, like, oh, what do you do for a living? They're better than me, or I'm better than you. Yes, I don't try to engage in that. I'd rather know you for the person you are, rather than what you do for a living, and just base your whole entire world around that. And I strongly encourage everyone to try to have those relationships and those conversations. And it takes a while to change. Don't get me wrong, but first steps first. Back to the first thing that changed and that I had to overcome was my addiction. So I sought help, and I had to destroy it all. You know, I was bouncing on the bottom for a long time, but when I got here, when I had that little peak up, I had to just destroy it and accept the fact that I can no longer go like this if I plan to get here. That I had to flatline it at the bottom for a little bit and start to slowly, gradually build something that has some substance and can actually hold the supportive and be a structure and support. Because otherwise I was just going to continue to do those little baby peaks. But in order to get here to a life that I could actually be proud of, and there's still work, there's still improvement. We're never perfect. We're on a path of progress, not perfection here, baby. So we're step by step. But at least now I have such a solid foundation. I'm not a dirtbag liar. I'm not a scummy guy. I'm not a scammer. I'm not in a relationship trying to milk everything I possibly can, whether that be out of like strangers or new relationships or relationships I've been in or whatever it might be. It's like my intentions now are a lot more pure. I might still get those quick little, thoughts that come in that are right field and wicked, but now I have these filters inside and in place that I'm able to combat those. And that comes with time. And that comes when you accept the fact that you need to make a change in anything and destroy that fake image, start from scratch, and rebuild slowly. Does it hurt? Yes, it hurts. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard. Does it suck? Yes, it sucks. I can't sugarcoat it. But it's so worth it. We have one opportunity. We have one life to live. This life is not going to magically turn on one day for you. Happiness is not going to smack you in your face. Happiness is right now. You define it. You find it. You turn it on. This is your chance. This is your world, your life. It's not your mom's. It's not your dad's. It's not your lovers. It's nobody. It's yours. It's up to you how you spend your life. This video, I can't tell you what to do. I can't change you. I can encourage it. I can lead by example, but I can't make you seek help. I can't make you admit to yourself that I have a problem. I need to change. I cannot live like this another day. Say those words. Look at yourself and say it. Let it get destroyed. As bad as it is. If you're in a relationship you can't stand, walk away. The pain is temporary. If you're in a bad relationship, walk away. I know it sounds so simple, but walk away. That's how simple it is. Walk away. If you're addicted to something you shouldn't be addicted of, raise your hand. Ask for help. There's meetings everywhere around you in every single city. Ask for help. They're not going to show up to your door. And a lot of us as addicts, they did. Family was everywhere trying to get us to make help. Listen. Listen to them. You got to do it for yourself. You got to do it for your right reasons. You got to be ready to make a change. You do not have to be what someone else tells you to be. You are you. You are not them. You are not I. I am not you. You are you. Make the change for that. You are incredible, special, beautiful, intelligent. You are a unique being. If you are alive watching this video, breathing, we have a purpose. If we are alive today, we have a purpose. And that purpose is to live the life we are meant to live a life of fulfillment, to live a life we enjoy, to not just go through life to survive, but to live a life and thrive. That is the mission. That is the day. That is my life. That is my inspiration. As blue as the sky is, that is what I am here for. That is my calling. I wake up with a calling to be able to share this. I have a voice. You have a voice. Make a change and inspire those around you that follow you and listen to your voice. If we are able to give this gift back of change, this gift of change, this gift of courage, if I could bottle it and just give it to you, I totally would. But I hope this reaches you in a way that inspires you, that if there is something you are unhappy with in life, then make the change. If it's a job you hate, make a change. A relationship you can't stand, make a change. Anything that you are dealing with, make a change. A diet you want to start, make the change. You decide it. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait for anything because it's never promised. We have right now. Make the change. freeiam.org. Find your breath. Find your life. Find your happiness. Find your love. And I say this with all sincerity. I love you guys. If you're watching this, I'm grateful for it. I appreciate it. Find your bottom. Build your structure. But it's going to need a lot of support. And it's difficult. But you can do it. And not only can you do it, you deserve to do it. And the people around you that you love, they deserve it. Love you guys. freeiam.org.